Good morning, this is your AI host, Jay. I'm here with the automatically generated, Journato, morning headlines on November 11, 2023. Israel's Arab minority feels closer to country in war, poll finds. Fentanyl-laced envelopes sent to U.S. election officials. Israel does not seek to occupy Gaza, but credible force needed Netanyahu. Reuters, Netanyahu says IDF will control Gaza after war, rejects idea of international force. The Times of Israel, Netanyahu says not seeking to occupy Gaza but demilitarize it. Al Jazeera English, Netanyahu rules out ceasefire, says no plans to occupy Gaza. France 24 English, Israel to continue fighting despite U.S. deal for humanitarian pauses. Belgium detains two far-right terror suspects. Spanish police investigate possible Iran link to shooting of former politician. The Guardian, former Catalan politician Vidal Quadras shot in face in Madrid. EURACTIV, police on Madrid Street where veteran Spanish politician Vidal Quadras was shot in face. The Independent, hard-right Spanish politician Alejo Vidal Quadras shot in Madrid. The Times, Spanish right-wing politician shot in face in Madrid. Man cleared of sexually assaulting child after 35 years in prison. Sky News, Michigan man cleared of assault after 35 years in prison. One News, after 35 years in prison, man acquitted of crime he didn't commit. WoodTV.com, DNA evidence exonerates man convicted of sexual assault in the 80s. MLive.com, Michigan man cleared of 1988 child sexual assault after over 30 years in prison. UN warns violence against civilians in Sudan, verging on pure evil. The Guardian, UN warns of soaring violence in Sudan's Darfur, France 24 English. France 24 English, Sudan, UN warns of increasing violence in West Darfur. DW, English, UN warns violence in Sudan verging on pure evil. Reuters, Sudan regional crisis, emergency situation update, November 9, 2023 Sudan. Saudi Crown Prince, African leaders call for end to war in Gaza. Reuters, Saudi Crown Prince's direct attack on Israel. MBS blasts Israeli occupation for Gaza violations. Hindustan Times, Saudi Crown Prince pans Israeli aggression in first public comments on war in Gaza. The Times of Israel, Saudi Crown Prince's direct attack on Israel, blasts Israeli occupation for. Civilian death rate in Israeli airstrikes higher than in past conflicts, study finds. The Guardian, Israel revises down toll from October 7 attack to around 1,200. Al Jazeera English, UNRWA Situation Report number 27 on the situation in the Gaza Strip and the West Bank, including East Jerusalem, all information valid as of the 9th of November 2023 at 18:30 local time, occupied Palestinian territory. Relief Web, Israel revises down death toll as deadly strikes hit Gaza facilities. France 24 English, Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry says war death count crosses 11,000. Once-in-a-century flooding swamps Somalia after historic drought UN. Reuters, Kenya floods, death and displacement as heavy rains hit East Africa. Al Jazeera English, weather tracker, fatal floods in Somalia and record heat in Tokyo. The Guardian, East Africa floods a once-in-a-century event, UN. Revealed, mistakes that blocked Maui wildfire escape routes. BBC, investigating the Hawaii wildfires, BBC News. BBC News, the power was out before the fires started. Then Hawaiian Electric flipped the switch. Honolulu civil beat. Entertainment news, Maui comedian recounts family's harrowing escape in Lahaina wildfire. GOP debate highlights, TV ratings plummet as Haley addresses scum spat. The Independent, Haley and DeSantis battle in the race for second place. The Telegraph, Jimmy Kimmel calls out dumbest thing Ramaswamy did at GOP debate. The Independent, the Republican presidential debate was a televised temper tantrum. The Guardian, why the GOP debates are increasingly meaningless without Trump. Israel kills 7 more Hezbollah fighters on border with Lebanon. The Guardian, 4 IDF soldiers seriously wounded by Hezbollah anti-tank missile, drone strike. The Times of Israel, Hezbollah fighters killed in Syria as conflict with Israel rages. Al-Monitor, Al-Qassam shakes Israel, rockets penetrate Tel Aviv, Hezbollah opens Lebanon front, hits IDF. Hindustan Times, Israel strikes Hezbollah sites in Lebanon. Blasts hit Gaza hospitals, top points. A Hollywood hotshot's son was arrested for murder. His wife and in-laws are missing. The Independent, murder suspect Samuel Haskell Jr.'s neighbor claims body parts were found in his home after woman's torso was Daily Mail, ex-Hollywood agent's son arrested for murder after dismembered torso found in dumpster. Hollywood Reporter, son of Hollywood agent arrested after missing woman's torso found in dumpster. Iceland declares state of emergency over volcanic eruption threat. The Guardian, Fagradalsfall, Iceland declares emergency over volcano eruption concerns. BBC, Iceland earthquake, is it safe to travel and is the Blue Lagoon closed? The Times, Iceland earthquakes, live, emergency declared as thousands told to evacuate over volcanic eruption fears. Israel's military cannot destroy an ideology, but appears determined to resolve the Hamas issue. Sky News, analysis, the punishing military doctrine that Israel may be following in Gaza. The Washington Post, Israel's peace movement, wounded by Hamas attacks, looks for a future. Foreign policy, Israel-Palestine war, Israel is shredding U.S. global influence one bomb at a time. Middle East Eye, Hamas adopted a suicide bomber strategy and as their allies waver, it is failing. Macron calls on Israel to stop killing Gaza's women and babies. BBC, French President Macron calls on Israel to stop killing Gaza's women and babies, BBC News. BBC News, Macron's ceasefire call gets a defiant response from Israel's Netanyahu. NDTV, Macron says, no justification, for bombing civilians as he calls for Gaza ceasefire. The Guardian, Macron demands Israel stops killing women and babies in Gaza bombings. This was all for the news. Thanks for listening. Please do not forget to like and subscribe.